Hi everyone, as promised I'm doing a video on how to make the boxes that look like carved boxes. Firstly, excuse the mess, I don't like working when it's tidy. I'm not doing a full The Works box, A because I don't have any, and B because it would take forever, so I'm just showing you with an old Turkish Delight box that I had that was previously covered in paper. I've peeled the paper off and I'm going to show you how to make up the carved look. So this one, I've just designed something in Design Space. It's made up of 4 or 5 layers, this one. What I tend to do once it's cut is do a sort of dry run of it to make sure everything fits, which this one does. I've done that already. So I'll just pull it all apart. Here's the first layer here, make sure it fits on there. A little bit hiding at the back there, okay. And simply take your Gorilla Glue, just squish some on there. You don't need too much of it, but enough so that you can cover the whole box. And using Gorilla Glue I find quite good because it dries hard and you can still paint over it as well. Then I use a foam roller, and be prepared to throw out your roller. They're not really designed for Gorilla Glue. So just make sure the entire face of the box is covered. Got a wee bit there that I don't want. And the reason for making sure it's all covered is because when you start painting it, it will start to lift. Even if you cover it all, it'll start to lift as well, but you can fix that as you go. I'm just going to put a bit more on there. Make sure it's properly covered. I think I'm quite good to go there. Just make sure I'm the right way around. Just hold it in place, make sure. Yep. And I've taken a bit of baking paper, parchment. Now ideally what you want to do is set this under a book, just to let it set for about 20 minutes, I find is enough. But what I'm going to do is just carry on just so I can show you this video in one. So that's how it's good to go. And doing it this way you don't need to worry about glue spilling out around the edges, doesn't matter. So I'm going to get my next layer ready, which is this one. Now because this next layer doesn't cover the whole box, I'm just going to put the glue where it needs to be. Although when you start rolling it, it will end up covering the whole thing, but it's fine. Concentrate on the edges first. Just going to add a bit more there, it seems to be drying quite quickly. You do want to make sure that all the bits that are needing to be glued are covered in glue, like I say, because once you start painting it will lift. See this bit lifting already, but it's fine. Right, I'm just going to stick the next one on. And this layer is in 2 parts. Let's get it lined up. And you know what, it actually doesn't matter if it doesn't line up perfectly. can't. And there's a little heart goes in this one as well, which is separate. That's that one there. That on the side. So you can see the layers building up now. Now at this stage I would definitely let it sit under the book and let it dry, but just so I can show you guys, I'm going to put the next layer on anyway. Again, just roll it so that it's completely covered. Now you might wonder why you don't sort of roll the glue onto the layer itself and then stick it down. I tried that and I tore a layer, so it's not actually the easiest stuff to roll, this Gorilla Glue. And it does dry fairly quickly as well, so I wouldn't hang about too long with it. Right, so let's go to the next layer. And you don't get much play either with the Gorilla Glue. Kind of once it's down, oh, look, I've got a bit under there. Now there's a heart that goes on top of this bit. Make sure I get the right one here, next size down. So these hearts, they're all just the same heart, just each one made slightly smaller. And I've got another one that goes on the top. Any bits that lift like that there, you just press them down again and it'll be good to go. And the next heart. And there's another love you bit that goes on the top there, and that gives it the depth. And actually you could probably add as many as you wanted if you were doing this sort of design. Go ahead and press everything down. For this one, I'm actually just going to use my finger just to spread it out first, and then roll it. So I don't want any of this letters lifting once I start to paint. same on this bit. Okay, I'll just use my finger. And you'll find as well that overspilling the glue actually helps smooth the edges out as well. And also helps seal the edges as well, so when you come to paint it, it stops the paint getting in underneath. And what I tend to do with the top layer, I try and not get glue on that, especially when it's letters, and then you'll find it comes out darker when you start to paint it. Helps the letters stand out a bit better. And then just the last heart. Again, just be a mink and use my fingers. And then the last heart in there. Just press that down. And that is, hopefully you can see that there, done. So once it's dry, like I say, sit it under a book, let it dry, and then just trim around the edges. This one obviously I wouldn't put anything on the side because it's not a lidded, hinged box lid. And then when you come to paint it, I'm not going to sort of video painting it, I tend to dab on the paint, that way it gets right in. The first layer, it'll hardly look like you've touched it with paint, just because of the glue. Next layer will be absolutely fine. I've discovered that the glue and then doing it this way and then painting it is what, and then varnishing, that's what causes it to give that sort of cracked effect, which I quite like. So I guess if you didn't want that, then you wouldn't really want to get the glue everywhere, but I think that sort of works with these boxes quite well. So hopefully you can see how to build them up. I've already posted the video sort of screenshot of how to design the box in Design Space to give you some ideas, but do get in touch if you need any further help. Thank you.